Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I just punched myself in the face. That kind of hurt. It's Jacoby, what's up? If you want to, you can support me by subscribing to this channel and liking this video. So today, we are talking about club volleyball. I usually get a bunch of questions about club, on whether you should play club, how much is club worth it, is club for me, and also another huge question I get is, I don't play club, I can't afford it, what do I do now? Well, you're in luck. I'm going to answer all those questions and give you my insight, my personal background with club, and everything you need to know. Okay, so first thing we're talking about is, what is club volleyball? Club volleyball is like AAU basketball or club soccer. It's just like a secondary form of a sport that's an organization. They travel, play tournaments. It's like a second team that you're on during the off season. So usually in high school, people play the volleyball with their schools in the fall, but if you play club, you'll end up playing club volleyball with another team that is from usually January to somewhere in the summer, or maybe like February to the summer, something like that. So that's what club volleyball is. It's just another organization that you can play volleyball with, and it gets some good exposure, touches, and practice. And also you meet a lot of different people, because you are not playing with girls that are just from your school. You're playing with a bunch of different girls that could be from different states. That sometimes happens, or they're just from different schools in your area. So let's talk about it. I'm so excited. I love club volleyball, but there's also a lot of pitfalls with club volleyball, so we're gonna talk about it. Okay, so my background with club volleyball. So I played at one club my entire career. My entire club career, I played at one club and one club only. It's called Birmingham Volleyball Club. Very straightforward. But there was like other competitive clubs in my area, but we can talk about that later. But I played for one club only. I started playing 13s, but I was 12, but I played 13s. I was always one of the youngest people on my team, but age divisions are kind of complicated sometimes. I mean, not really. If your birthday falls on or before this date, then like you're in a certain age level, and then if you're older than that date, then you're this age level. It's really spelled out on the internet somewhere, but anyways. So I played when I was 12, but I played, my first year was 13s with Birmingham Volleyball Club, and I stopped playing my 18th year. So I played all of my years except for like 11s and 12s. Some clubs have 10s and stuff like that, but yeah. Let's see, travel. I have traveled a lot of different places with club, and also it was a lot of fun for me, because I got to meet a bunch of different girls that I'm still friends with to this day. So it was also just a great like learning experience, because club is very competitive in most places. So it was just really eye-opening. It showed me how I could get better. It showed me how I was doing well in some aspects of my game, but not others. So it just really made me a better, well-rounded player. So now we're gonna get into the expenses of club volleyball. That's what everyone really wants to know, is how much does it cost and is it worth it? So club volleyball is extremely expensive, and I don't want that to deter people from playing club volleyball or even approaching a club, because sometimes they have payment plans or they'll work with you, but club volleyball is pretty expensive. I looked around on the internet just to see some local clubs, see what kind of rates they were charging, and for one of the top clubs in Birmingham, they charge about $3,200, which is $3,200 a year or per season. So that's not just an expense that everyone can pay, just like extra money. Like, yeah, I'm gonna pay that extra $3,000 for you to play volleyball in your spare time. No, not everyone has that kind of money, and sometimes a club that's in the same area will be cheaper than other clubs. Like, you really have to weigh your options. It's kind of like shopping for a luxury item, or not a luxury item, but like, say you're trying to buy an iPad. You want to price check and compare like other places. So say you're Amazon, Best Buy, and the Apple Store. Which one's cheaper? Which one has the better deal? Which one is the better investment? That's basically what it is like with club. So it is expensive, but I don't want that to deter you once again. Also, along with that club expense, that's really just for being on the team, practices, like court time. That also usually goes towards the actual club, like the balls, nets, just maintenance things. It also goes towards like coaches' salaries, you know, stuff like that, just business upkeep. But that also goes towards your uniforms, your gear, whatever you want to call it. It's like sometimes the clubs will offer a jacket, a hoodie, shoes, like matching shoes, whatever. It's all kind of included in that price. Sometimes. So I know a bunch of clubs that don't even offer like that in their included price. So you pay that set amount just for your practices and your tournament fees. And then you have to pay out additionals for your shoes, your knee pads, your jerseys, your jackets, your sweatpants, your hoodies, your backpack, everything like that is paid out of pocket. It's not included in that set fee. So let's say that that $3,200 is just the volleyball fee. That's just for your practice. Which your practices is like your court time at the facility, if they have a facility, or if they're renting out a gym, that probably goes towards it. And then there's also tournament fees, because it does cost money to enter into tournaments, so that's probably in there too. And then maybe some maintenance fees for the gym. And then like I said, you have to pay for all your extra gear and stuff like that. But then there also comes more expenses when you're traveling. So say you're on a team that travels, because not all teams are created differently. Not all clubs travel, not all clubs travel super far. It really varies on your area and your club. But for my example, we traveled a lot, but you're paying for that travel out of pocket. Oh, like you're paying for your flights, your car, your gas, a rental car possibly if you flew there. You're paying for your food, your hotel, everything. Oh, you're paying for your tournament, your admission to get in. Like if your parents come with you or whatever the situation is, that person has to pay admission to get into the tournament. Sometimes you'll want like a tournament hoodie, a tournament shirt. It adds up, you guys. Like, it is so expensive to get into tournaments. Like, sometimes I went to a tournament to watch one of my friends, $50. So I just acted like I was a player, and I was like, yeah, like, I'm in this tournament, and I got in for free. Don't do that, but it is what it is. But it's dumb expensive. It's very expensive. And then also sometimes you'll have like team dinners where like you'll go out to eat, and that adds up because that's so much money out of your parents' pocket or your pocket if you're paying for it yourself. So that's one thing to really keep in mind. So that's also very expensive. So you're looking probably total at about $5,000 or $6,000, upwards of $7,000, $8,000 for a club season, and that's very, very expensive. But also that's at one of the top clubs in Alabama. So it's like, you know, it really depends. But also how I see club volleyball, and this kind of ties into, is it worth it? I personally see club volleyball as an investment. So it's like investing in real estate. You'll get a return most of the time, okay? You'll get a return on your investment. So that could trend upwards or downwards, sure. But if you end up playing in college, and club volleyball is where you get your exposure, not so much high school, but club is really where you can get good exposure to bigger schools. That's really the investment that's the risk you're assuming. That's the investment that you're making. So you invest that $7,000. That's not a small sum, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that you invest that $7,000 for that club season, and in turn you get free college, which saves you about $40,000 to $50,000, $60,000 plus $1,000. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's an investment only if you want to play in college. Now, I know a lot of people who just did club for fun. Like, they're like, I love this, like I love hanging out with the girls, like, woo! I'm like, that's great, like that's fine. Club is also very fun, great way to make friends and all that. So if you just want to play more volleyball but you don't necessarily want to play in college, it's still a fun time. Also, if you just start club, you can start to realize like, oh, you know, like I do want to play in college. Or sometimes people start playing club and they get so burned out that they're like, I don't want to play in college like anymore. Like, this sucks. Like, I'm over it. I just want to go to school and be like a normal student. So club makes you realize a lot of things about yourself. But in my case, it was just a means to an end. It wasn't like necessarily that I had to play club. It was just that I was lucky enough that my dad was willing to pay for my club and invest in me, because I did end up playing in college and I knew I wanted to. Probably around my 16s year, because from then like 13 to like 15 I was like meh, like I was just there for fun, like my friends were doing it, I was like this is so much fun, and I was playing in school too, and like it's what everyone did, like they were like yeah I'm playing club with this club this year, or I'm doing this club this year, and I'm like woo, that's so much fun. But then I started getting really serious about it probably like later into my 15s, 16s, 17s, and thus so on. So it's really just an investment, and that's why I do think club is worth it. So another reason why club volleyball is valuable is because you get a lot of experience. So for example, at clubs, you have a bunch of coaches from a bunch of different walks of volleyball. So you'll have a current college player, possibly you'll have a really experienced college coach, like a D1 coach, or you'll have a good high school coach. There's just a bunch of good volleyball minds that are all put together in one place, and it's also great to get a bunch of cross training. So say your coach is one way at your high school, but once you go to club it's something completely different, and that way you will be trained in such a unique and diverse way that it will just make you a really well-rounded player. Also, club is also a great vehicle to get recruited, and I say this because sometimes, like how I got recruited personally was when I was playing at a club tournament and the opposing team's coach was a college coach, and he was like, I like you, like will you come to school and play for me? Or sometimes your club, like I just said, will have college coaches, and they are constantly looking for players to fill out their roster, and what better place to do that than at their own club that they work for. The talent's right in front of them. They coach them sometimes. So and when I was 15, 16, I got like a offer, like someone asked me like, hey, do you want to play here or do you want to play here, because they coach there. So that's really how that works. Is it's almost like club is a good way to network. It's really kind of like a business, but once again, like I say that going to college and playing in college is kind of like all about marketing yourself as a product. Not that you're buyable, but it's just like that's really, you're kind of like presenting yourself as a package. Like here I am, here's what I have to offer, here's what I'm good at, boom. So a club is just really good, a good way of networking and just kind of seeing like, hey, like it just gets multiple eyes on you from different colleges, from all different levels, NAIA, D3, D2, D1, all of them. So yes. Now we're going to talk about what you can do to get in front of college coaches, or say you're going into college and you don't have any club experience. This part of the video is for you. Okay, I'm sorry, let me stop. Okay, so first and foremost, once again, if you're going into, this is for people going into college, BTW. So I've gotten a lot of questions from girls who are going into college that don't have any club experience but played in high school or whatever. They played varsity, and I'm like, awesome, great, but they're like, I'm too scared, or are they gonna reject me because I didn't play club? I have the answers for you. All right, so first and foremost, sorry, it's so dusty in here. First and foremost, playing club, once again, it's not the end all be all, like I said earlier in this video, but if you have high school experience, if you have varsity volleyball experience, that's almost just as valuable as club volleyball. So it's not, they're not gonna ding you just because you didn't play club. It's really about your skill, first of all, and your work ethic. So if you can contact them, if you email them, if you have highlight film from high school, go ahead and send it to them, because they can just take a look at you and they'll know if they want you or not, pretty much off the bat from your highlight reel. That's just kind of how it is. But don't be afraid to send them stuff, because you really never know, and also you're already a student there, so it's easier for you to possibly walk on, as many people have wanted to do that in the past. I've gotten questions about that. It's not hard. I mean, it is hard in a way that you still have to get recruited, like you still have to be good enough, you still have to have the grades and all that, but you still have the opportunity to, because one, you already go to that school, so that puts you at a huge advantage, because that's already half the battle, it's getting into the school. So you're already in, so really just go ahead and shoot your shot and email them. It's fine, it's okay, I promise. Or if you find yourself entering college and you haven't played club, like literally, you are not alone in that. There's a lot of people that has happened to, like, okay, for example, one of my old teammates, this was at my Division III school, but still it's college volleyball. It's still this pretty much the same thing, except for just like skill, not skill level, but just intensity is really what defines the divisions, in my opinion. But this girl, she didn't start playing volleyball until her junior year of high school, and she got to play in college. So it's really just a matter of looking and just doing your research. So you can find there's a lot of schools that have volleyball teams, okay? And everyone's always looking for something. So you just have to find out what you offer and what makes you special and market yourself. Market yourself, yeah. That sounded really weird. Yeah, market yourself to the coaches. So it's not impossible. It's not some kind of like pipe dream that you can never do. Also, what I want to speak about is club volleyball. So club volleyball in college, that's also another good option if you feel like you're really behind the 8 ball, but you don't necessarily want to put in the time that the varsity team requires. You can also just do club volleyball, but if it's really your goal to play like on the main A team, go ahead and shoot your shot, email that coach, and no, you are not lesser of a player just because you didn't play club. That's really just an accolade. It's not necessarily a requirement. So that's why I gotta say on that. Now, the question of, Jacoby, I cannot afford club, what do I do? Okay, so I have a couple answers for that. Let's start with the first one. So A, if you just completely will not pay for club, you just do not want to do it, you don't want to sell out the money, or you just can't afford it, which is a case for a lot of people, that is absolutely okay. Here's my game plan for that. So 9 times out of 10 you probably play school volleyball, I hope. If you don't, I would do that because that's way cheaper than club volleyball, and it's pretty much free because you go to school there, so it's like a built-in perk. Use your perks. Go ahead and play volleyball for your school. So if you're playing volleyball for your school, this is a great opportunity to get reps, learn from your coaches, and make friends as well, which is what club offers. It's just club offers it on a higher level, like just on a broader stage. Because you're going, in club you're traveling to go play girls. Like you'll meet girls from Wisconsin, from California, from Hawaii. You'll meet girls from everywhere, and you'll also see coaches from everywhere. Like one club tournament, I was at AAU Nationals in Florida, and I saw the UCLA coach, the Utah coach, the Alabama coach, the UAB coach. Like all of those people are gonna be at those big tournaments. But that's not the only way to go to your dream school. So what I'm trying to say is use your school to your advantage, because it is free, technically. I think it's pretty much low cost free. So you can go into the gym, you can ask your coach like, hey, like I want to play in college, but I don't have the funds to, you know, pay for club. What should I do? And they are there to help you guys. Your coaches are there to help you. 9 times out of 10, they will know what to do. They will help you. One thing you can definitely do, like on off rip, is just be like, I want more reps. Because really what volleyball is, once again, I say this in every video pretty much, reps are the key to volleyball. It's not really about if you play club or not. It's really about your skill level and your technique. And sure, club will accelerate that and just make you seen by more people, but it really comes down to just your basic skills. So I feel so passionately about this. So literally just ask for reps, get in the gym as much as you can. Okay, especially if you're not playing club where you don't have a gym to go to every other day or every day and you're paying for it, and you can just go hop and just play some 6-on-6 or whatever. You need to get some reps in by yourself or with maybe some of your school teammates or whatever. And also what's good about school volleyball is that y'all have practices. Take advantage of your practice time, you know, work on your skills. And if you're taking things more seriously than your teammates, that is fine, because you have a different goal. You're going to utilize your time differently than others, and that is fine. So one thing I would really say is to take advantage of your practice time, and then next thing I would do is try to get private lessons for a really cheap rate. That's another good way to get reps and get some one-on-one time with a coach, is you can do private lessons. You can do that at your local club as well, so that's a cheaper way of getting still some interaction with a club, or maybe just, you know, some good, maybe like higher level training at more of a low cost. So maybe like once a month you go get training from a club, and sometimes they'll do like one-on-one practices for like $60 maybe. Or one thing I really suggest is go, if you have a local club or whatever, go there and you can find some college girls that are coaching. Usually college girls will do some kind of one-on-one private lessons, or they'll do a little group lesson, and they're trying to make more like extra, you know, little side hustle cash. So they're more than willing, trust me, they're more than willing to help you out. So really, you just have to use your resources to your advantage, and you have to not be afraid to ask and put yourself out there, because not playing club is not the worst thing that could happen to you if you want to play in college, but it also kind of puts you at a disadvantage only because you're not being put in front of other people like the club girls are. So you just have to work a little bit harder just to like put yourself out there and push yourself to the front. Okay, I really hope that made some sort of sense. Okay, now we're gonna talk about like jerseys, and this is if you're gonna play club. If you already play club, this segment is definitely for you, but this is gonna be about jerseys, my favorite tournaments and the best tournaments to get recruited at. So let me go get my jerseys, 1 second. So I have like a big bag of old jerseys that I used to own. Our colors were pink and black, so I just have a bunch of different jerseys. So this jersey, I'm pretty sure was from my first year at BBC. It's like 13s or something. But notice a common trend is that these jerseys are all Mizuno, and that's why I'm gonna talk about brands. So I kind of already touched on this in my brand video for volleyball, but I really enjoy Mizuno jerseys, like I said. It might just because I've worn them for so long, but they really are quite quality. I also like Adidas jerseys and all stuff like that. But now we're gonna move on to like basically talking about tournaments and the best ones to get seen at and for exposure. So this is a very complicated question because it kind of depends on your region. So for example, and Alabama is in the SRVA, which is the Southern Region Volleyball Association. And then there's also the JVA, there's USA Volley, like there's just so many volleyball associations out there, but they all have really good tournaments. So for example, I think the best tournaments that I've ever went to that had a bunch of exposure was the USA Volleyball Girls Junior Nationals. That one you have to qualify for, so there's a lot of big qualifier tournaments. Like the one in the South is like Big South in Atlanta, and then what's the one in Colorado? Oh, Colorado Crossroads. That's a big qualifier for those nationals, like those national tournaments. Like the national tournaments are like the USA one, and then the AAU girls nationals in Orlando at like the Disney thingy. But I'm trying to think of which one I had the best exposure at, or I saw the most coaches at. And this is just for like prominent schools, like really big schools I saw. This is not like talking about really small schools. I'm just trying to tell you like the scale that club volleyball can like really put you on. So I think the biggest coaches I saw at AU Nationals, like I said earlier in this video, was UCLA and Michigan State, right? Michigan State, UCLA, Arizona. At that tournament, that's really good exposure. At USA Nationals in Indianapolis, I think I saw Utah for sure. I sat next to her. She's a really nice lady. Utah, and then I saw Cal. Michigan State was there again. Can't remember, but those are the main ones I saw there. And then at other little like local tournaments, or not local tournaments, but like I live in Alabama, so like the local region tournaments would be like Georgia, Florida, one of the Carolinas, Tennessee, like those more regional tournaments. You'll see more state schools that are in that region. So like if I was in a tournament in Georgia, you would see maybe Georgia Tech, Georgia, Alabama, UAB, you know, stuff like that. But overall, just to end this video out, overall, I really do think club is worth it, but it's not the end all be all that it's made out to be. You don't absolutely need to play club to be successful, but it's just a good way to put you in front of college coaches or really big schools and just get more exposure. But there's also other ways that you can do that yourself without paying that hefty price tag of around $7,000 per season. All right, guys, that's it. I really hope this was informational. If not, I'm sorry, I failed you. But yeah, once again, let me know if you have any video requests or comments, concerns, questions, whatever. Leave it in the comments. If you don't feel comfortable commenting, you're like, I don't want to comment like this in public, you can DM me on Instagram and I'll keep our conversation private and I'll answer your question there. Like this video, subscribe, check out my second channel. It's named Jacoby, after me. And then I have a podcast, Secondhand Embarrassment, where I just talk about lifestyle, college, me being a student athlete, all of that jazz. And oh, I have merch. I have merch. It's on Teespring. Link is in bio. Also, all my volleyball essentials like my knee pads, my favorite spandex, my favorite sports bras, my yoga block, my foam roller, my yoga mat, all that stuff that I use for volleyball and preparation for volleyball, the back end of volleyball, stretching, all that stuff, making sure my body's good to go for volleyball season is in the description. So check it out. All right, that's it. I think I plugged everything. Love. Bye.